What's happening, Brighton? The short answer is a lot. The long answer is this podcast. What's Up Brighton is a show dedicated to the community we all love.
Hosted by Roger Burnett, Eric Meldrum, and Coach Mark Howell, this podcast will feature news, issues, and discussions impacting Livingston County and celebrate the people who make our slice of Michigan go and grow. This is What's Up Brighton. What's up, Brighton? My name is Roger. That there's Eric. This guy over here is Coach Mark. Welcome to the show. We're on a mission to bring you a giant dose of positivity, highlight the best of our community and what it has to offer, and knock down the wall between Facebook group and real live in-person encounters. Who knows? Maybe you'll learn something new or maybe even make a friend. What's up, guys?
I'm good.
On?
What is going on? What's up, Brighton?
What's up, Brighton?
What's up? What's up, Brighton?
What's up, Brighton? It's warm out now, spring, man. Like,
Let's go.
we're in full bloom. I got my
We've
Easter
been pretty
jacket
I was
on.
going to say, your Easter jacket is in full effect. I love
Yeah.
it.
Easter jacket
Love
in
it.
full effect, along with my Cricket Lake Yacht Club t-shirt, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Ooh.
Because, ladies and gentlemen,
Tease? Is that a tease? Healthy
before
tease?
we get to, well, we obviously we have ripped from the headlines, so we're going
Oh.
to talk about what we've seen in the feed since the last time we spoke to all of you.
Yes.
And we'll have a little bit of a roundtable discussion on a topic of yet to be determined from this list.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll have Coach Mark give you those nuggets of wisdom, and then we'll leave the last word for Eric over there. Sound good? Sound like a good show?
I love it.
Good
All
show
right.
to me.
Let's get rock and roll.
Rock and
So,
roll, baby.
one word. We had one word coming into today. So, Eric, this time I'll let you go first. What was your one word coming into this show?
I think appreciation. Right? Just appreciation for it's a great little town that we live in. You know, it's got some things going on in my life that can really be negative, right? My dad's health, we're moving into an assisted living or independent. I call it independent living because he still do things on his own, but just appreciative that he's still with us. Trying to look at the positive things, in life. So appreciation and gratitude has really been something I've been trying to consume myself with in the morning before I go to bed. Just really stay focused on it.
I love it. That's incredibly good. And I know Coach has got something sizzling for us. What you got over there, Coach?
Perspective, kind of along the same lines a little bit. Perspective and along the same lines, I mean, prayers and thoughts to your dad. My dad's actually been struggling with stage 4 cancer for about 2 years now.
man.
So similar circumstances with health, but perspective, I mean, all things in life are filtered through whatever lens we want to place on it. So making sure that we're always keeping the blessings at the forefront of, whatever situation we're in, and keeping a healthy perspective on where life is at and the journey that we're on together.
Yeah, prayers for your dad, man.
Thank you.
For sure,
Thank you.
for sure. Well, I guess mine would be appreciation. This has been one heck of a journey that I've been on here with this program that my co-hosts know that I've been really busy with here over the course of the last 2 months or so. So I'm looking a little different these days is because I'm putting in a lot of effort towards something that is very, very difficult for me to complete, which includes not drinking bourbon.
Good for you, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Props to
These
you.
guys crushing
I will
it
drink
over
double
here.
for you.
Definitely wanting to make sure that my perseverance is top notch because I'm sitting next to two guys drinking Macallan 12 right now. So
You're looking good, man.
You are
It's
looking,
paying
you're looking
off.
fantastic.
You're looking good.
thanks, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Let me just
feeling good.
Let me just say, appreciation. We appreciate Roger.
Yes.
Can we just talk about the amount of work that he puts into
Dude, he
to this
puts in-
show?
Okay. So to be transparent,
Right.
like I basically show up on Friday morning. I look at everything that Roger has prepared for us, and I'm like, cool, I can just make a few notes. I'm ready to go.
Mark doesn't even do his hair. He just rolls out of bed, comes to this thing at like
Energy
11:30.
drink, let's roll.
But seriously, like, I mean, he's prepping all week, rocking out for our shows. I mean, awesome.
Oh, he is. I appreciate you, Roger.
Thanks.
Thank you for putting the time, attention, and effort into this. Like,
Yes.
I knew when we had the conversation, I'm like, hey, I have these like ideas, and like we got this thing that is kind of like this little flower right now. I think it could be something, really cool. He saw the vision, right? And he knows where this is going. So we appreciate you.
Thanks,
Keep
man.
rocking
Absolutely.
it, man. You are doing an awesome
Absolutely.
job.
Thanks.
We love you.
It's thanks to you, all of you, because I don't have content if you all don't participate in the page.
True.
It would be infinitely more difficult for me if I had to go like surfing the internet and other places to try to find things that would be topical and timely and relevant to this hyper local content thread that we're trying to create, right? So thanks to all of you, but I appreciate that. Like it's a labor of love. I'm really enjoying it, and we definitely have some ideas about where we want to take this thing. But first, we have to talk about a beaver crossing the road.
Let's get into it. How big was the beaver?
First, we had a turkey at Malpe, right? You guys remember that one, right? Like, there's this giant story about there's a homeowner on what road is that? Bauer.
I feel like I'm not mature enough to have this conversation because my mind is.
He's talking about a literal beaver crossing the road.
I'm trying to draw you offside.
All right.
You know that. I mean, this is the whole intent of this.
My mind instantly, I'm like, guys, I don't know if I'm following you. Is this an actual animal or is this code for something else?
I kid you. So this is ripped from the page.
Okay.
People.
All right.
So,
all right. I'm with you.
Local media covered the turkey. Like
gobble gobble.
Dude got his own. The owner didn't
where was
know.
it? Who covered this?
I see turkeys cross the road all the time. Like,
HMI,
what are we doing?
Newsbreak, like all of those covered it. So
they covered a turkey crossing the road.
Here's why: the turkey was getting out of his pen, unbeknownst to the owner, going out onto Bauer Road and like interrupting the flow of traffic going into the school,
which is awesome.
Everyone would then disperse and the turkey would go back in his coop. The owner was none the wiser of the fact that this was
like he's intentionally doing it.
It's like this turkey's
like,
turkey.
Watch this.
So
okay,
I
get the humor in it.
It became a whole
that,
thing, and then
that's
some
awesome.
people were like, typical.
Oh, of course.
And then other people were like, oh my God, my kids are like, I hope the turkey is there this morning. I hope the turkey is there this morning.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? It became like the bridge in downtown. Like it was a unifiter. Well, so now we have part two,
Beaver.
Not to be undone or outdone by the turkey. The beaver says, hey, this is how we're going to roll, and crosses right in the middle of downtown Brighton and holds up traffic, won't move, just hanging there.
Just chilling.
Now, you may remember this in years past before the streetscape.
Yes.
Even before the pandemic, there used to be the geese that would walk back and forth across the street. From the
I hate geese. I have a hatred to geese, both from being on Sloan Field, the soccer field, that we're always on, and just to me, geese are just disgusting, right? So I see geese in the road, and like, I mean, forgive me for saying it, but I'm like, dude, will somebody please just gun it? Let's just take care of this problem right now. We have the opportunity to take care of the problem.
I've been served a goose before.
That's just no.
In China.
Did you eat it?
I had that same kind of sediment that you were it was.
Was it any good?
I honestly did not try it.
Good for you.
Okay. I did not try it because I think everyone can agree, like eating a goose here in the U.S. it's a dirty bird.
Yeah,
right. It's like a dirty bird.
I can't do it.
It was one experience is like I ordered a duck and I wanted that like golden duck, and they didn't have duck. So out comes this golden bird, and I'm like, well, I thought you were out of duck. And they're like, oh no, we found it. Try it. And so I didn't try it, but I asked the guy after. I'm like, so how did they find that duck? Like, oh, that was duck's cousin. It was goose.
Duck's cousin.
I like it.
So we'll put a wrap on this little segment by saying
Beaver.
the Huron River Watershed Council. I kid you not.
What?
In this thread, the Huron River Watershed Council had put out a post that said
serious.
Increased beaver activity.
Oh my God, no way.
What?
I mean, I agree. At home, it has definitely increased.
I could not.
Sorry, honey.
I could not believe. It was just like sometimes it's when you can pull disparate things together that it's one of those times when it makes the page so like my cheeks were hurting from laughing from this thing. It was so good. It was
Beaver
so
always makes life better. It just does.
I'm still trying to put the puzzle pieces together on where was this beaver crossing? What was it doing? Why was the water conservation part of this?
So maybe our audience can, in the comments, they can
all right, I'll wait for
fill
that
in
one.
on the story. Okay?
Please enlighten me.
All right. So one of the other really interesting topics that came up was Mark Howell, as a lifelong resident of Brighton. You've seen these amazing sunsets that we've been having lately, like
epic.
And it's not out of the ordinary.
They're silly. They're silly nice.
But it's not out of the ordinary. I mean,
it's not.
For those of you who are interested in sunsets in Brighton, go to CLYC_Brighton on Instagram for an entire page.
Wait, really?
Of
I didn't know
Sunsets.
this.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
that sounds awesome.
CLYC_Brighton
Subscribe.
on Instagram.
Yeah. I'll
Your
subscribe.
mind will be blown when you see the sunsets that are on this page. So, Mark Howell, where is the best place to view a sunset in Brighton?
So in Brighton specifically,
In the area.
I would go to, if I had the time, I would go to the Brighton football stadium. That's where I would go.
Ooh.
It's actually a pretty good spot. You
All
know,
right.
you get like kind of the top spot. It sort of just like sets over the sun or over the tree line, kind of over
Home
Pine Creek
side,
Ridge.
visitor side.
You go on the visitor side.
Visitor side.
Yep,
That's what I
visitor
thought.
side. And you
Because
just
they want the sun in all of the visitors' eyes.
absolutely.
They want those
I mean, that's
poor
just wisdom.
South Lion
Yeah.
parents to just bake in the sunshine.
Yeah, let's go.
September
Let's
game.
go. That's
Enjoy your
right.
sunburn.
I mean,
Every home court advantage possible.
Is there any cool views from like Mount Brighton?
There's got to be.
There's gotta be.
I've never seen one from the top of Mount Brighton, but I bet you that's epic.
Why
I bet
is
that's epic.
Mount Brighton not having sunset events at the top of the hill?
Dude, now we're talking. Dude, you could
pop-up
golf cart
dinner
people
up
up there. You could throw some people on the chairlift.
Well, I mean,
up there. Let's go.
Come on, they got rid of golf. You think they're going to bring sunsets back?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Hey,
the sunsets
you
are
know what?
there.
One can dream, Eric.
There's
Okay.
an unlimited supply of sunsets. They may just
Hey,
not
maybe
wanna
there's a
take
business opportunity there somewhere
There
for someone.
probably is. We should
right?
just rent it out and be like, hey,
Let's go.
welcome
Hey.
up.
it. So if those of you
That would be a good spot.
paying attention have a spot, I know you don't want to share it, but if you want to share it, one of the ones that I heard that was really interesting was the top of the toboggan hill at Genoa Township Hall.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good call.
I
It
saw that. I
faces
saw that
west.
too. That's why it
Good
made
call.
me think. I'm like, well,
Yep.
Mount Brighton's taller than that.
Yep.
But it faces west.
Absolutely.
It's relatively easy to climb, and you can
Yeah.
park like right over there.
Good call.
Right? Not
Good
bad.
call.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
how are the views on Crooked Lake?
Oh.
Epic.
Yeah, I mean-
Most of the sunsets that are on that Instagram page that I told you about are from that lake.
They're from Crooked.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, because you got the whole east side of the lake. Just can view that. I mean, that's the epitome. Right?
Yeah.
Not bad. And shout out to Josephine Gerard for her amazing sunset photo that she posted the other day on the page. More of those, please.
Sparked the whole conversation, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's one of those things that we don't talk about enough. And I don't know, like, it's gray in Michigan this time of year.
Yeah.
We all know that. And it hasn't been. And
No.
Been
Well-
super lucky.
what a blessing.
Yeah.
What a blessing indeed. All right. Well, this is supposed to be about outside. And I don't know if you know this, but Mark Howell, is there a few things to do outside in Brighton?
Oh, just a few, man. I mean, I'm a golfer. So
Let's go.
I mean, is there a better place to golf in the state of Michigan or even in the country? Like, I don't know. I mean, Livingston County is home to, I have no idea how many golf courses, but so many.
Oh
and
my
they're
God.
amazing. They're amazing.
Majestic.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Moose
mean,
Ridge.
There is
Moose Ridge.
So
That's my jam.
Moose Ridge. Okay, so first
Even
time
though it's South Lion.
it's
count it.
it's
We'll
Greeno,
count it. We'll
it's Greeno
Yeah.
Township.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all
Well,
good.
Still come in like Hidden Lakes in South Lion too,
Sure,
but like
sure.
you can come in. Brighton schools. So my first golf outing, or not all outing, league was at Moose Ridge.
Sure.
And like I was used to playing, sorry, it wasn't my first. It was the first one when I moved to Brighton. And so I was used to playing like, just an easy course. Well,
Not
this
easy.
this
Yeah,
this
that's
league
not easy.
was 5 o'clock. It was like a 5:15 tee off, after work. So you just worked all day. You went to your league, and I'm thinking like, hey, this is a beer league over there. I'm like, I'm freaking losing balls left and right. I'm like, this is not even fun. What are we doing? And I'm out here getting mad at my golf game, and coming home all pissed off. Like, I just shot a 89 on the front nine. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so I hate Moose Ridge for that reason. But it's a great
Absolutely.
course.
Moose Ridge is awesome.
Absolutely. We fully intend to dedicate an entire show to our golf in
Oh,
Livingston
yeah.
County coming up here
That sounds
later
like a
in the
fun-
summer.
Fun one.
'Cause it's just like I want to give the golf courses a chance to sort of put their shine on. So let's talk about lakes.
Oh.
Man, so Eric, when you're talking to people and they're like, tell me about Brighton. Like when you get to the outdoor side of things, like how do you
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
about it?
though I don't have to talk it up much because they've done a lot of homework. We put out a lot of
Mm-hmm.
content about living in Livingston County and Brighton area. So that comes up a lot. Recreation, lakes. That's all people want to really focus on. Is like, hey, we're moving from so-and-so, and we want this because of that, right? Which comes to like the parks and recs, the lakes, we want a lake house, and there's a ton of options. You can live in Heartland. Long Lake's got a great one. Here in Brighton, you got Island Lake, you got Crooked Lake, Fonda
Let's
Lake.
go Crooked Lake.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Yep. First house ever sold on Crooked Lake, actually.
Let's go.
That's good. It's a good
Let's
story.
go.
But there is more. I mean, you go south into Pinckney.
Oh my
you got
God.
the Portage Chain of Lakes, and they just keep running. Like you can go on a whole entire boat ride if you're just trolling, right, from the north end of a Portage Chain of Lakes all the way down, to the south end.
That's really cool.
Have you done it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Again, if you live here, you get that opportunity. See, like me, because when we bought our house, we did a somewhat unorthodox thing. Most people who are not from lake communities like Brighton have a second home somewhere in northern lower Michigan.
Sure.
And my wife and I were getting recruited by all of our friends to like their second home area, right? Like, you should come to Oscoda. You should come to Traverse City. You should come to the Leelanau Peninsula. So we would go up and visit people. And my wife, the whole way, she'd be like, traffic up here is terrible. Traffic coming home is terrible. She was like, why don't we just buy on a lake in Brighton? And so we did an entire year-long investigation. Orr Lake, Bonda Lake on that side, all the way up to Lake Shenandoah, all the way up in Fenton, all the way down to Pinckney and the Chain. And we settled on the exact house that we ultimately ended up buying because of the sunsets.
Yeah.
And the fact that I have Oak Point Country Club in my backyard. So I have lake in the front yard, country club in the backyard. There's many people in our community that are in a similar situation. And it's one of the things that you really tell me where else you can do that. Tell me where else in the state of Michigan that you can have that combination and have the taxes that we pay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the only other place, people are bouncing between like, Fenton, right, which is Silver Lake, but property taxes up there are stupid too. And then you got Commerce, White Lake, that area. But I honestly, like when you drive through those lake communities, there's some really nice homes, but it's just so congested.
Yep.
I mean, you're like right on top of each other. I mean, and then you don't have the same downtown feel. You don't have the same community. You don't have the same other amenities besides the lake, right? The lake becomes the attraction. Then you just got to put up with all the other stuff like the traffic and everything. So I agree. Like the Crooked Lake, probably if this was a ranking, number one lake in Brighton, what would you say?
I think there's a poll coming.
Poll's definitely coming.
It's
going to be a weighted poll.
Who cares?
Roger and I think, are going to poll.
Okay, but what better way to find out what the community thinks, right? So
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Thompson, Chemung, Crooked, Woodland, which is its whole own universe.
Oh, yeah.
Woodland, and that put in, I'm sorry, Woodland, y'all get some traffic
That's insane.
over on that lake,
It's insane.
right?
Yeah.
And, we're home to the Crooked Lake Yacht Club. We're home to Flock to the Rock.
Yeah.
Like, Crooked Lake.
Crooked Lake's the jam.
No, actually, there's not much going on
Nothing
there.
to see
it's pretty
there.
quiet. Not a lot to do, really.
It is the county's worst launch, which
It is
is
the county.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's where they dump all the trash, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
You don't want to
So-
take your boat through there
that's where they
because your
dump all the
boat will
trash.
get ruined. So
Yeah.
don't
tell anybody about
Don't
it.
come to Crooked Lake.
Yeah,
Right.
it's funny you say because we hear that so many times. Like, no, we have such great amenities, here in Brighton, and everybody was like, "Hey, don't tell anybody."
I know.
Like, we don't want any more people moving in here, and it's like we're gonna stop. Like, this conversation is gonna stop people from moving to, Brighton. We're going to take a quick break from a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Oxford Center, where healing begins with a blend of compassion and innovation. The Oxford Center offers a ton of different treatments, ranging from hyperbaric oxygen therapy, autism services, physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy, and more. They've pioneered research behind a wide variety of treatments and conditions. They're located in the heart of our community, right here in Brighton. They believe in treating the whole person, not just the symptoms. Discover how they can support your journey in wellness. Visit theoxfordcenter.com or call 248-486-3636.
disc golf. We could play disc golf.
Dude, I love disc golf.
I've never played disc golf. Have you
It's
played
so
disc golf?
fun.
I played in college. Yeah, I don't remember it.
Just one time at band camp.
One time at band camp.
Kensington has great disc golf
Do they?
courses. great disc golf courses.
Okay.
And so does it's outside of Livingston County, but North Territorial Road near Ann Arbor-ish.
Okay.
I forget now what the name of the park
See?
is, but
Like,
great disc golf.
and that's before we get to like the rail to trail. So you want a bike, you want to hike, we've got that for you. I mean, Island Lake, if you can get over the PTSD of all the shooting. So I went to Kensington to play golf, and legitimately, like, the gunshots from Island Lake across the freeway were just freaking me out. It was making it really interesting to play golf. Reminded me of my childhood in a lot of ways.
There's actually quite a bit of disc golf. There's a Marion disc golf course over in Marion Township. You got Chilson Woods disc golf, Manly West Bennett disc golf course, which is over off of
in Hamburg.
Like Hamburg,
Barrow Road,
kind of Pinckney area. And then you got the Hudson Mill disc golf.
Hudson Mills, that's what I'm thinking of. Hudson Mills and Kensington are by far the two best.
Yep. Yeah, I know the Hudson Mill because there's actually a party store out there. I don't know what, off of North Territorial, and it's like disc golf. I'm like, there's got to be a disc golf course around here. Like a party store would not have disc golf if they didn't.
I've stopped there a few times to grab some discs when I forgot them. Yeah.
So we've got run groups. We've got, I mean, you name it. Like, if you want to be outside, Livingston County is where it's at. I don't know how else to extol this, but for those of you who want to remind us of the things we've forgotten, we would love nothing better than for you to fill in all the blanks on the things that maybe we weren't able to get to in this segment. You know, we really want to flesh this out the best that we possibly can so that maybe we have a comprehensive list of the places that if you want to go out and do that kind of thing, you have the best opportunity to try to make that happen. All right. So Rip from the Headlines was pretty good. That segment was pretty good.
Yeah.
This one's always good.
Oh, man.
It's time to huddle up. It's time to huddle up with Coach Mark.
Let's huddle.
Huddle it up, Coach. What do you got for us today?
I got to move my notes. Oh,
Move
man.
them
I wasn't even
notes.
ready.
That's because we were so enthralled with talking about lakes.
Right? So today, I want to talk a little bit about, especially come, like late spring. It's kind of launching into spring. I think a lot of people are going to be doing a lot of fascinating things. We're going to see a lot about it on social media, and inevitably, it's impossible for us to not, compare and contrast our life compared to what other people are doing. Right? It's one of, I think, the greatest pitfalls of social media is we go on social media, we see what Eric and Roger are doing, and I instantly think like, oh man, is my life measuring up to what they're doing? Like, I don't know. And so I think that, like in life, I think if you want to break it down into like 4 levels, right? 4 being extraordinary, and 3 being good, 2 being okay, 1 being good enough. We'll call it good enough, right? And this kind of comes from my good friend Ryan Pinot of the Pinot Training Group. Shameless plug there for him. But he kind of breaks life into those 4 categories, if you will. And like depending on what pain you want to endure, there's different sacrifices to each level of life that you want to have. And so I think that, if you want to have that extraordinary life, that all sounds well and good, but that might also come with the sacrifices of working 18-hour days and grinding away and maybe time away from your family and other things, right? But if you want to have the good enough life, maybe you can't afford to have the life that you want to lead and do some certain things that maybe you envision. Instead, you kind of sit at home and you complain about the life that you wish you had or the life that you wish that you could create, what have you. At the end of the day, the life that we lead is a direct correlation to the choices we make day in and day out. And if you are led to do something different or more or less, depending on whatever direction you want to go in, it's up to you to make those changes and to understand, accept, and appreciate the sacrifices that come along with whatever those choices directly correlate to. And, all too often we want to sit back and be keyboard warriors or complain or bitch and moan about whatever things that we're doing or not doing or the privileges that are or aren't afforded to us based on the life that we've created. But ultimately, it's a direct correlation to the choices you've made. And so I guess my message today is being mindful of what you're called to do and what your life is maybe dictating from your family, from your bills, from the life that you feel led to create for yourself and those around you, and accept the challenges and the sacrifices that come along with it and go crush it. Go rock it out. That's it.
Dang.
Heyo.
We're going to have to clip all of Coach Mark together and sell it
Clip
like
compilation.
as a 7 DVD series.
Yeah.
Coach Mark's wisdom.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that it helps somebody, like
It's the whole point.
There's a lot of that going on. Which is why we started this podcast, which is, lead by example, right? Lead by example of like, what do we want to see from the community, right? What do we want to see from the group that is kind of festering in? And like, we're not here to tell anybody what to do, what not to do, right? We're just leading by example.
Yeah.
Like we know, right? So many people in the community that don't say anything, don't speak up, and are just kind of going with the flow, right? And there's a lot of good people, here that are doing some great things. I'm excited to share some of that, on this show, right? So we've got a few of these under our belt. We're going to have more guests, right?
I think he just went into the last word without telling me.
I think he did.
I think so.
Oh, did I jump?
Even
did I
flow.
jump the
It was
gun?
a casual flow.
Did I
No,
jump
I
the
love
gun?
it.
You did it.
He's
no, it was
flowing it.
great.
He's
like
flowing it.
You were just rolling right
Yeah.
into it. So that's your segment. I mean, we
Yeah.
always leave the last word to Eric, and he usually follows you up with something almost as good.
Well, he inspires me. And, one of the things too, I'll tell a story on my last word here. Mark and I had known each other for years, right? Like it was just acquaintances. Like, our friendship didn't really start until we really started talking about like some deeper, topics, in our lives. And our kids, both girls, went to ballet, right? Would see Christina there. Brianna would see, you there. And it was always kind of a trade-off, like who was there, this week. And we would kind of chat. I knew Mark from Fun to Life, but he didn't know my story. Right. He didn't know, what was going on with me or why I may have been drawn to him in the first place. Right. Because he puts out what is positivity, right. In my eyes. When we were younger, we lost my mom when she was 10 years old, and lost her of cancer, so we were a direct recipient of the good work that Fun to Life does, in the community and for people in need. So, when I heard of this and my business was starting to grow and I was able to, start helping and giving back and looking at ways that I want to be charitable, with my time or resources. Mark was one of the first persons I spoke to, about that. I was like, hey, maybe I can't give financially right now, but I do want to, do something, in the future. And then you called me, right? And Roger is like the greatest person at like, hey, I have this really cool idea and I want you to say yes to one of them, but I'm gonna give you options. Right. And I'm like, awesome, cool. So hit me with it. And he pitches me on 3 nonprofits. And I'm like, so which one are you passionate about? And he goes, nobody's ever asked me that question before.
Very true.
And then we started talking and I shared with him what I'm passionate about. And he's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like we're in full alignment, right, on it. So that was really how our relationship, started getting deeper, in understanding like, hey, we all have the same goals, ambitions. We all want to help the same type of people. And there's a lot of other people that are doing this. And the point of this is like, I was sharing my story in secretive, right? In secrecy, right? And Mark didn't know about it. Right. So putting that out there now has brought Mark awareness of like, oh, cool. Like I understand where you're at. I understand the moves you make, the things that you do, how you carry yourself. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So, for me, just kind of rounding out your positivity, corner over here, I tell my team, all the time, like the success you're looking for is in the work that you are avoiding.
Boom.
Right? And I didn't come up with that. I won't take full credit for that.
Just take it.
I
don't know where it came from.
I saw it on
take
a billboard on 23 or something. Yeah. But it was, it hit me when I heard that and saw that. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And it's like, damn, you are 100% right. The success that you are looking for is in the work that you are avoiding.
Yep.
And we're all avoiding that work. We're all avoiding that hard work. You don't want to wake up in the morning and do your workout for 75 hard. You don't want to, give up alcohol. You don't want to, that's the hard work, right? That's the sacrifice that it's going to take to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Right. Even if that's, like my dad's situation, like we're going through that with him right now. Like there's hard work ahead of us. And if he's not capable of making those decisions, like I have to bear, my sister has to bear that hard work of like, are we making the right decisions? Are we doing it? So I love that, about it. And it's brought, I think that center of it, has brought all three of us closer, understanding, because Roger's gone through things as well. And we all have the same mindset of we want to bring positivity. We want to bring, more than just ourselves and each other, to the community through this podcast. Like I'm super excited to look forward to in-person events. With everybody. That's coming.
It's coming.
Right? So we're working on that. We have the website being worked on. We have more content. We just had a conversation. I won't let the cat out of the bag, but we had a conversation with some people that are potentially going to help with more content, in the community. And I love where this is going. So what's Up Brighton is kind of becoming a little thing of its own. And super proud of, this whole thing right here.
And for all 38,400 of you, however many of that larger group would fit the group that you would want to attract, best way to do it is to put yourself out there, because how would we know? To Eric's point, if you don't say, how would anybody know? And if we're going to give you that safe space and make you feel like you're a part of the team, where else would you want to go to tell that story than right here with community of people that we hope would be home to the tribe that you're seeking. So
absolutely
38,400 of us, man. Like we always say, if you're snarky and sarcastic and we know you, then you're funny. If you're snarky and sarcastic and we don't, then you're just a bully.
Yeah.
So which one would it be? We'd like to know you. We'd like to know everybody in the community, if at all possible. We're going to use these events as our way to be able to break down that wall like we've been saying. So that's it. That's all. That's everything. Thanks, guys. Another episode 4 was crushing it as always.
Thank you. Thank you,
really
guys.
Good. So if you like the show, please do us a favor and subscribe. The more subscribers, the better content we're able to create. The topics today were something you think that somebody would be interested in hearing, please tag them in the comments or share the episode with them. And if you have ideas for show topics or would like to be a sponsor, please send us a direct message and we will be sure to get right back with you. So that's it. Until next time, this is Roger signing off.